It has been announced that Natalie Portman will be playing Thor? Female Thor? I have no idea what to call her, because as many of you know, in today's culture war, no matter what you do, it's offensive. And that's the point. The point is that you can never do anything right, so they can always wield power over you and then try and pressure businesses to shut you down. There's a ridiculous story right now that I didn't have enough to go on for a full segment. I kid you not. Some woman on Twitter saw a picture of plates for food from, I think, Macy's, and then tweeted, "Who can help me get these things banned?" And then Macy's were like, "We're so sorry about the plates," because apparently the plates have rings where it's like, it says mom jeans, favorite jeans, and skinny jeans. Basically, the smaller portion makes you skinny. And apparently it's offensive. So there's always going to be some kind of ridiculous outrage in an effort to shut something down. But it was announced that in Marvel's Phase 4, we are going to have Natalie Portman, who plays Jane Foster, playing the role of female Thor, which is a comic book arc I am not super familiar with, but I have seen some super cringy panels. I could be getting this wrong, but I saw, like, someone post something on Twitter where there was supposed to be a fight between female Thor and some other woman, but the villain says, "I'm not gonna fight you. I'm gonna let you arrest me because now we have female representation and women shouldn't have it so hard," or something like that. I was just like, wait, what? So there's been a lot of complaints about the idea of female Thor that I've seen. A lot of people are basically saying that she's the epitome of a Mary Sue. Everything's handed to her. She's not worthy, whatever. I don't care. I really don't. I think the MCU will do fine. Captain Marvel was like, I can't remember where I left it. I vaguely remember giving it like a 4 out of 10 or something, because like, it had some points where I was like, that's cool. And then it had a lot of points where I was like rolling my eyes and like, that's so whack. The problem here that I want to stress before we can read some of the nonsense, as I've pointed out over and over again, you can make your woke characters. Well, actually, let me take that back. We can have a diverse cast, okay? Because I would say this, when it comes to making these movies, what does anyone expect? The movie would literally only have white men leading these movies? No, that's ridiculous. We had Thor, Captain America, and Iron Man, like the first big 3 franchises, and they're white dudes. And that doesn't matter. But I will say this, I'd be shocked if you thought every character would only always ever be a white dude. We've seen movies with non-white leads and with female leads, and they're fine. The problem arises when you walk up to someone and start whacking them over the head with a stick while yelling wokeness things at them. Then they're like, "Dude, stop, I get it. Dude, it's fine, I don't care. Okay, I get it, man, stop hitting me, I don't care." And that was Captain Marvel. You know, you have the trailer where it's like, it says her, and then a hero emerges, and it's like, oh my God, dude, we get it, she's a lady. Nobody did anything about that for Wonder Woman. I'm not gonna rant about Wonder Woman again, I get it, I made too many videos about this. But let's read this, and let me just stress, I'm excited for Thor 4. I think it'll be really cool to see Natalie Portman as a superhero, because I think Natalie Portman does a really great job, and she seems to be like a cool character. Annihilation, that movie was cool, creepy, cool. You should see it. I didn't get the ending, but you know, I think Natalie Portman's great. So let's read the story. From Pluralist, feminists immediately start language policing female Thor reactions. Don't call her that. And this is where it's funny, because the point is, people are praising the decision for her to play female Thor. The response? She's not female Thor, she's Thor. No, Thor is the name of a guy, okay? She takes the mantle of Thor. Again, I'm not like, I didn't read the comics. Here's my understanding, okay? Thor is the name of the literal dude. Like, if I gave my beanie to Emily, would she be just Tim? That makes no sense. You couldn't even call her female Tim, I guess. The point is, why she's Thor, because Thor is also the name of like him as a superhero. Well, let's read. They say, at San Diego Comic-Con, the studio announced that Natalie Portman's character, former Thor love interest Jane Foster, will play the Goddess of Thunder in the forthcoming Thor Love and Thunder. On stage at the event, Portman symbolically accepted Thor's hammer, Mjolnir, from Chris Hemsworth, who has played the Norse god superhero across 7 Marvel movies. And I do want to add, too, I wonder if that's why they didn't end Thor's story arc and wanted to do one more movie, so they could pass off the brand, and there's a lot of money to be made, to Natalie Portman to keep it in universe. I've always had hammer envy, joked Portman, who reportedly stormed off Thor 2 when director Patty Jenkins quit in protest. Wow, that sucks. But look at this, she says hammer envy. She's making a joke. It's funny. It's funny, right? They say also at Comic-Con, Marvel confirmed that Valkyrie, whom Thor named the king of his mythical homeland, Asgard, would be the Marvel Cinematic Universe's first queer superhero in Thor: Love and Thunder. Now, I will be critical of this a little bit because that's the problem with the wokeness stuff, is beating people over the head with it. You don't need to tell us this, okay? How about you make the movie and Valkyrie has a queer love interest? And, let me stress, when you want something to be normalized, you can't yell in people's faces about how it should be normal. You just do it. Just make the female lead. Just have the queer character. You don't need to remind us, with commercials and all this stuff. That's what's making people really frustrated and angry. It's being whacked over the head incessantly and lectured to. Let's get to the tweets. We have this one from Lena Waith, who said, Captain America is black, Thor is a woman, the new Blade got 2 Oscars, 007 is a black woman, and the Little Mermaid about to have locks. S just got real. Spot on. For me, I don't care. I do have a negative disposition immediately because of identitarianism. I get it, it's cool, but I don't like the fact that we're going to only praise. I believe Anthony Mackie is playing Captain America. Is that it? So what? Anthony Mackie's a cool dude. I don't like the idea that we have to make it about his race because he's a human being who has value. Man, that's how I grew up, and that's why I can't stand identitarianism. I like Natalie Portman because I think she's a good actor, and I think she's made good movies. And I'm looking forward to the movie she's going to be in. I don't care that she's a woman. I understand what it means to certain people. Of course, I've mentioned this before. There are people who have never seen that. They don't know what it's like to see someone in that role that represents who they are. So I get it. And that's why I'm not trying to be mean to Lena. It's like, by all means, dude, be happy. But I am slightly averse to people who try and champion the fact that someone is something instead of being a human, right? At end all be all, we should be like, hey, a human being is doing something. We can cheer for ourselves. Instead, it's all about the identity of the individual, which people can't change. Let's get to the shenanigans though. Saying female Thor is sexist. However, not everyone was ready to pop the champagne. Many liberals, no, stop saying liberals, were focused on trying to shame right-wing critics of Hollywood's ever-increasing wokeness. This person says, Mjolnir was actually destroyed, so Jane can't become Thor. Mate, there is a talking raccoon, and this is the multiverse. Just admit you hate women. It's not even about, see, here's the problem. It's not about hating women. It's just someone criticizing the idea that they're retconning the universe to cater to her. But let's move down. One person says, hey, people mad about Natalie Portman being cast as Thor. Both those that don't want a female Thor and those that want a different woman cast. She hasn't been cast as Thor. She was cast long ago as Jane Foster. Jane Foster becomes Thor in the comics. That's how the story goes. I question whether or not there is a large group of people who actually care about this, by the way. Here's the best one, Brianna Wu. I swear these fake comic book boys pretending to know Marvel to get attention. Natalie Portman is playing Thor. Not she-Thor, not female Thor, not Thor woman. She is playing Thor. And this was someone happily saying, Natalie Portman is female Thor. So here's the thing. Even when you, here we go, CNN, Lady Thor is here, and she's ready to bring the thunder. Psst, she's just called Thor. No, listen. This is a hand-me-down character. She's Jane Foster. That I'm fine with. But yes, when you pass the moniker of Thor to a new character, you are hand-me-downing that character. Write something new for these characters. Give her her own unique name. Make her the wielder of Mjolnir and call her like Thundara or something. The point is, calling her Thor is making her Lady Thor because Thor is originally a dude. You are handing down IP instead of writing new IP. Why can't we all just get past this and say, how about, instead of just making Captain America black, we have Falcon be Falcon because he's his own unique, strong, individual character who is important in the Marvel Cinematic Universe? Why is it that handing down something that's used to a minority character is to be praised? In fact, I think that is offensive. Of course, I'm not going to call for anything to be banned, because in the end, I'll go see the movie. It's fine. But the point is, why are we not offended that instead of giving creating new characters that can represent minorities, we're just saying, oh, you sure take, I don't know, Captain America. We're done with that one. We've had it for 60 years. You can have it now. Where's like none of it makes sense. Someone says, how I picture anyone who says female Thor or female Hawkeye, and it's two Ferengi from Star Trek. Notably funny because the Ferengi in Star Trek were shocked that Federation women were forced to wear clothes, they would say. So, so look, let's not act like the outrage is that pressing. I think in the end, it's all just hyped up by actors in the culture war. But the one thing I want to point out before we wrap up is that people are getting mad she's being called Lady Thor or Female Thor. It's like, dude, the people who are bringing that up are cheering for it. Can you just accept the win and be happy for once? I'll leave it there. Thanks for hanging out. Stick around. Next segment will be tomorrow at 10 a.m. The podcast every day at 6:30 p.m. And I will see you all next time.